Secretariat for this meeting of the East Kilbride Area Committee on the 13th of June 2023. We have apologies from Councillor Buchanan. I've noted we have Councillor Archie Buchanan and Councillor Matthew Buchanan present. We have apologies from Councillor Convery. Councillor Cooper, his apologies. We have Councillor Fagan, Councillor Ferguson Miller and Councillor Frame present. I understand Councillor Gray has had IT issues. Councillor Kerr? No. We have Councillor MacDonald present. Apologies from Councillor McAdams. Also present Councillor McDougall, Councillor Robb, Councillor Scott and Councillor Watson. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you for that. Do we have any declaration of interest? Did you know that one? Oh, there she is.
Hello, everyone. Afternoon. Just I have an allotment at Aller's allotment, so I can leave the room during that one if you want.
Okay. Minutes of previous meeting. You've all got a copy of them. Can we propose on seconder? Thanks. You're the other one in the room. Okay, thank you for that. Right. Items for noting. The next item I've got the Scottish Fire and Rescue Services. Oh, right, sorry.
Hi. Hi there. Sorry, it was just about the minutes. No issue, but just to say that I was going to join the last meeting, but I was at a care review with my mum, which ran over. And by the time I joined, the meeting had finished. So I think it must have been a really short meeting. So
yeah,
just FYI.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, we've got Gary Tudhope from Scottish Fire and Rescue Services is online somewhere.
Good afternoon, Chair.
Hi, Gary. Okay, you have the floor.
I'm just going to bring the report up on screen. Is
Sorry, Gary, slight technical issue. Could you request to speak again, please? Thank you.
that better?
I can hear you anyway.
Can everybody see the report okay, yeah? Right, item number 1 in the report is the purpose of the report. The purpose of this report is to provide members of the Safer South Lanarkshire Board with an update in respect of Scottish Fire and Rescue activity within South Lanarkshire and how this activity measured against agreed targets for the period of 2022-23. Item number 2 is the background. On the 1st of April 2013, the 8 former fire and rescue services within Scotland merged to form a new single fire and rescue service. A key requirement of the new legislation encompassing the single service is the production of a local area plan aligned to the local authority boundaries. This is subject to approval of the local authority. This is to provide periodical reports as to the process against the key priorities within the plan. Item number 3 is a review of the performance from 2022-23. The current reiteration of the local area plan for South Lanarkshire contains 6 key priorities and are summarised as follows. Reduction of dwelling fires, reduction of fire casualties and fatalities, reduction of deliberate fire setting, reduction of fires in non-domestic properties, reduction in road traffic collision, and a reduction of unwanted fire signals. From the 6 key priorities, performance targets were devised and incorporated into the local area plan. A lot of this report, with associated activity levels, comments for each of the performance indicators areas is included within this report. A review of all internal community plan arrangements across the area has been carried out to support the development of a new scrutiny structure to support SSLB, community planning and service delivery arrangements across South Lanarkshire. Below are the 9 key performance indicators that I'll be reporting on today. Item 1B is all deliberate primary fires. Above is the statistics you'll see from the 6 wards within East Kilbride, and there's been a reduction in the number of deliberate fires compared to the preceding year. The number of incidents decreased from 38 in 2021-22 to 36 in this recording period. This is the 3rd year in a row we've managed to reduce. The locations of all deliberate primary fires are regularly shared with Police Scotland, local authority housing and anti-social teams to contribute to their community intelligence efforts and identify patterns. Each ward is assigned to a watch at East Kilbride Fire Station, and any ongoing analysis of incidents takes place with potential corrective measures presented to the station commander. Subsequently, collaboration occurs at the local problem-solving groups and the weekly anti-social community safety hubs to prevent future incidents from happening again. Item 1C on the report is for all deliberate secondary fires. Well, above is 6 wards.
So apologies, everyone. It seems like we've literally lost Gary from the meeting. Hopefully he'll try and rejoin and be with us shortly.
Okay, folks, the fire officer seems to have disappeared, so we'll just move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the participatory budgeting. So if I could introduce Jennifer Graham, who's the Deputy Head Teacher in Sanderson, with a big smile, and the Laura Mitchell, who we know from education. So if you just give us your introduction, etc., whatever it is you want to do.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be here today to give you an update on participatory budgeting within education resources for the East Kilbride area. And today we're asking you to note the progress of this report. So following consultation and the voting process as reported at the last Area Committee, schools have progressed with their spend to ensure that the minimum 5% was spent in full by the end of March 2023. I'm delighted to be here with Jennifer Graham, Deputy Head Teacher at Sanderson High School, to share Sanderson High School's participatory budgeting work as an example of good practice within the East Kilbride area. This case study illustrates the school's participatory budgeting journey this session. Sanderson High School is a particularly good example of participatory budgeting within the additional support needs sector. They have made the PB process accessible to all their learners, demonstrating the value and commitment Sanderson High School have with regards to pupil participatory budgeting and pupil voice. As part of this consultation, stakeholders clearly identified that Sanderson's most complex pupils are often excluded from engaging with many wider community learning experiences due to the complexities of their needs, often leading to increased isolation. Stakeholders therefore voted for pupils to have access to South Lanarkshire Council's outdoor resource space to help pupils overcome these barriers. The outdoor resource space has provided pupils at Sanderson High School with complex needs, much needed opportunities to engage safely in a bespoke outdoor curriculum beyond the school environment. Further outreach work back in school has built on the skills and experience gained at the outdoor resource space. 6 targeted learners have achieved Curriculum for Excellence attainment outcomes at an accelerated rate as a result of the outdoor resource-based experience. There has also been an increase in learner engagement levels, a reduction of violent incidents, and an increase in skills developed. A further impact section showing this impact will be added to this case study at the end of the academic year once the final evidence has been gathered. I'll shortly ask Jennifer to answer any questions you have or provide any more detail around this shortly. In terms of participatory budgeting for all our schools, participatory budgeting is now firmly embedded in the pupil equity funding. Schools are continuing to allocate a minimum of 5% of their pupil equity funding to be subject to PB year on year. Schools recently received updated guidance on this at the PEF Head Teacher and Equity Lead information session on the 19th of May, and schools are now submitting a profile of spend to the centre which outlines the percentage of PB that they will put towards this for the coming academic year. Optional PB training is planned for August for schools for those who have got new PB leads and for those that require a refresh or would like a wee update. In terms of the success of this going forward, SLC schools' PB work continues to be recognised nationally as an example of good practice. Several local authorities have approached us for guidance and support in this area, as South Lanarkshire Council are the only local authority in Scotland who have dedicated as much as 5% of PEF from all schools towards PB. It's also been agreed by the Chief Executive that a COSLA award application be submitted at the end of May to showcase the work of our schools in this area. We're incredibly proud of our schools and are keeping our fingers crossed for the award, which is currently in progress. I now take any questions and open up to any questions or any more detail that you'd like from Jennifer. Thanks.
Okay, folks. There must be a few questions. Go.
Thanks. And I suppose I would just repeat the point I always make when it comes to PEF. I'm always mindful that PEF is there for a particular cohort, whereas these exercises involve more than just that cohort. So I just always like to remind people of that. But I know that it's a point you're very much aware of. My question was just about the optional PB training that you mentioned there. I'm just wondering what's covered in your PB training for the schools.
Thanks. So the participatory budgetary training is something that we've done year on year. This year we're saying it's more a refresher or an update because there won't be much new content, and if there's participatory budgeting leads that have been leading this for the past few years, then they might not need that update. What's involved in that is talking them through the process, what we expect in terms of the participatory budgeting process. We expect that all that pupils affected by poverty are really at the centre of this, and that absolutely the principles of the Pupil Equity Fund have got to be part of those decision making around the spend around this, and we make that very clear at that. That's one of the areas that is quite tricky for schools to navigate with their stakeholders. And what we try to encourage is for each school forms a participatory budgeting group comprising of staff, pupils and parents. And what we say to schools is, if where possible, if they could encourage this, the pupils that are affected by poverty to be involved in that, so that their voice is very much at the centre of the decision making around this. So that group then generate ideas with all stakeholders in the school about things that the money could be spent on, and they lead that process through the session. We talk to them about what the deadlines are, how they report to us. They report through a Google form so that we know how many pupils have voted, how many parents have voted, and such like. And we talk them through the process that we expect all stakeholders to be involved and how the different ideas. We also signpost some good practice examples of how schools have done the engagement, and we also signpost some ideas around how to make sure that they're voting in the different kind of ways that you can vote.
Okay. Kirsten.
Thank you. It's really interesting. I was just to ask a bit more from Sanderson, what sort of activities the children got up to. I'm looking at the wee picture in the pack, but can't quite see the details. So if you just tell us a bit more about that, that'd be nice to hear what the children got up to. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. It's really tricky to plan for some of our pupils because of the nature of their needs and the complexity of their needs. And so we were really looking for activities that we would be able to meet a large, everybody in our school that would get something out of it. So the activities, we sought out a company called Orb, and it's outdoor resource space, and they were a really great find for us. And it was a really great partnership because they were able to offer safe experiences. I mean, all schools want safe experiences, but some of our children have quite complex medical needs, and a lot of equipment to be able to manage going out in the community. And they were fully risk assessed the situation for us, and they're on IPROC, which is also great, the procurement service. So the activities that we managed to do, which was phenomenal, bushcraft, the climbing wall, water sports. The climbing wall particularly, it might seem inaccessible, but it absolutely wasn't. And some of our pupils that don't have, that are able to communicate in traditional ways, families didn't know that their child, this is something that they enjoyed. So it's been a great gateway for families to see the enjoyment that their children have engaged with, and now have family experiences. It's been really wonderful to see. Some of our other, we've had trips, we've had children go out to the spa. We've had a Lockside, Kiddockside museum, and actually some shopping trips. But it's really just getting our pupils out in the community, engaging in the community. And after COVID, this was particularly difficult. A lot of our pupils were very isolated, and families were struggling to get their children out into the community and used to traveling and being in crowded areas. So this has been a real gateway for pupils to experience these things, and for us to support families so that they can do these things with their children themselves.
Okay, thanks for that. Gladys.
Thanks very much. That was really interesting. The access to ORB has clearly made such a difference in the partnership. And, it's been such a great resource. I'm so pleased that participatory budgeting is working so well and has worked so well for Sanderson, and as well as bringing new experiences. Apologies for that. As well as bringing new experiences, also attaining outcomes in curriculum for excellence. I think it's excellent. Thanks very much for the report.
Anybody else? No, you got off light today. So thank you very much for your input today. I believe the fire officer's connected again, so we'll take the Gary one. Hello, Gary.
Good afternoon again. Did you get any more report the last time? No.
Yes, yeah, we got a bit. Yep.
Want me to start from the start?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Whereabouts did I leave you?
Yes. Just after the stats in each ward.
Right, so that was the first one then, right? We've got them for 10 headings, so I'll basically just start from the starts.
Okay.
I'll try and bring the report up this time. Can you see the report okay now? Yes.
We've got a blank screen, apart from you talk to me in the corner. I've got multiple screens there.
Just trying to get the backup ready.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to share the report, so what I'll do is I'll just discuss the report if that's possible. Right, the first item in the report is for all deliberate primary fires within East Kilbride. At the top, you'll see the statistics.
Darren.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I was just going to say, we're just trying to load it up here, so we'll try and get that and get it in sync
Excellent,
with you
thank
if you do want to carry on though. Thanks.
Yep. The first item is all deliberate primary fires. Primary fires are fires that happen usually within buildings. In 2022-23, there's been a reduction in deliberate primary fires compared to the previous year. The number of incidents decreased from 38 in 2021-22 to 36 this year. The locations of all deliberate primary fires are regularly shared with Police Scotland, local authority housing, anti-social teams to contribute to their community intelligence efforts. This helps identify patterns. Each ward is assigned to a watch at East Kilbride Fire Station and ongoing analysis of incidents take place, with potential corrective measures presented to the station commander. Subsequently, collaboration occurs at the local problem-solving groups and the weekly anti-social community safety hub to prevent future incidents from reoccurring. Item 2 in the report is for all deliberate secondary fires. We have seen an insignificant decrease in secondary fires in 22-23 compared to the previous reporting period. This year has seen a decrease from 293 incidents to 194. We've also seen a reduction in 5 of the 6 wards. Our operational crews and community action team continue to monitor for hotspots and carry out engagement at local schools and areas of known high activity. This is supported by a new Power BI system, which helps us make data-informed decisions when we target specific areas of antisocial behaviour within the community. We look to identify areas of illegal fly tipping and liaise with local environmental teams to arrange uplift. Again, each ward is designated responsibility of a watch within East Kilbride Fire Station, and all incidents are analysed on an ongoing basis with proposed remedial action presented to the station commander. The next item in the report is for all accidental dwelling fires. Accidental dwelling fires have increased by 3 in the 2022-23 report from the previous reporting period. Scottish Fire and Rescue Service have an ongoing programme of fire safety engagement and education to contribute to the reduction of accidental dwelling fires. We continue to carry out home fire safety visits to ensure that all properties have a means of detection, and we've carried out 651 visits in East Kilbride within the last year. We're involved in a number of initiatives with key partners to actively encourage at-risk households to engage with ourselves. Our community action team are currently delivering fire risk recognition training to increase our pathway referral process for high-risk home fire safety visits. We work closely with social work, housing and various other partners to ensure that any members of the local community who are identified as adults at risk are fully supported with care packages that are put in place to keep them safe. As well as TV, radio and local newspapers, the service utilises local social media to help promote fire safety within our local communities. Also, following all incidents at a domestic property, we carry out a post-domestic incident response. This is to offer advice and reassurance to the property affected and surrounding properties also. The next item on the report is for all accidental building fires. 22-23 seen a decrease in accidental building fires compared to the previous reporting period. Should Scottish Fire and Rescue Service attend any incident in any property other than a dwelling fire, we will complete a risk assessment failure form. This is passed to our fire safety enforcement officers within Lanarkshire. The fire safety enforcement officer will then in turn provide advice and guidance on fire safety issues or carry out a formal post-fire audit depending on the nature of the incident. Officers within Lanarkshire also carry out fire safety audits on a rolling programme in high-risk premises such as sleeping risks and high-risk commercial and industrial premises. This ensures that the responsible person is complying with their statutory duties. Fire crews within East Kilbride also carry out operational intelligence and familiarisation visits to ensure that they're fully aware of any risks within their local area. The next item in the report is for all fatal fire casualties. Scottish Fire and Rescue Service have recorded 0 fire fatalities within 22-23 reporting period. That is the same as 21-22. The next item contained is for non-fatal fire casualties. There was an increase in non-fatal fire casualties compared to the previous year, increasing from 9 to 13. Each fire casualty results in a reporting procedure followed by the operational crews, which informs the station commander of the details, circumstances and extent of the injury after each of these incidents. Following every incident in domestic dwelling, our crews will carry out a post-domestic incident response to offer reassurance and a home fire safety visit should they require it, with smoke detection fitted if necessary. We work closely with social work, housing and various other partners to ensure that any members of the local community who are identified as adults at risk are supported with care packages and to put in place to keep them safe. The next item on the report is for special services and in particular road traffic collisions. The number of road traffic collisions in 22-23 has increased to 29 incidents from 25 within the 2022-23 reporting period. Road traffic collisions remain a priority in Lanarkshire, and Scottish Fire and Rescue Service work closely with our partners to reduce the risk on the roads, and we deliver education programmes to assist in prevention, such as weekly virtual reality road safety inputs to our fire reach groups, local youth groups and colleges. We work closely with local community police officers to increase road safety awareness and risk-taking behaviours to local high schools, and SFRS will continue with our communication and engagement with various social media campaigns. The next item on the agenda is for special service fatal and non-fatal casualties. There has been a decrease to the number of these casualties from 48 in 21-22 to 41 in 22-23. As stated previously, we continue to work with our partners to look to reduce the number of casualties from special service incidents. Around half of these casualties are from road traffic collisions, but we are now seeing a significant increase in requests for assistance from partner agencies to gain entry to properties from medical emergencies. The last item in the report is for the UFAS, unwanted fire alarm signals. Scottish Fire and Rescue Service have seen an increase in UFAS activity from the previous voting period, moving from 448 incidents in 21-22 to 520 22-23. Scottish Fire and Rescue Service's response to fire alarms in commercial businesses and workplace premises is changing from the 1st of July 2023. Every year, SFRS attend around 28,000 automatic fire alarm call-outs to commercial business and workplace premises each year. From the 1st of July 2023, we will stop attending AFA call-outs to commercial businesses and workplace premises such as factories, offices, shops and leisure facilities unless a fire has been confirmed. Our operations control colleagues will now be asking anyone who reports a fire to investigate and confirm there is an actual fire or signs of fire before sending the nearest response. This does not apply to sleeping premises such as hospitals, care homes, hotels or domestic dwellings. And that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Gary. Quite a detailed report. Have any questions from anybody? Davy.
Thanks very much for the report. Probably not covered in the report, but it'd be interesting just to see if you've got any indication of if there's been an impact with new fire detection in domestic properties, and if you get an idea of the take-up on that, is that something you guys would have data on? Thanks.
Gary. Gary.
Yes, sorry.
David Watson's questions, have you heard them?
Yep, thanks very much for the question. It was regards to figures. We don't actually have figures of who has smoke detection within their properties. It's now therefore owner occupiers. Local authority have an obligation. Local housing associations have an obligation to put that detection within properties, and there's no confirmed data regards reducing fire fatalities or casualties at the moment, but there does seem to be a reduction overall in the amount of fires that we're having and the casualties that we're receiving.
Sufficient. Elaine McDougall.
I just wanted to thank you for that report, really comprehensive. I was interested in just whether you could explain what a secondary fire is and how they come about.
Yeah, the secondary fire it's like an outdoor fire. So for us, it would be stuff like bin fires, bonfires. It would be where there's no kind of financial loss to anybody in particular, whereas a primary fire is quite the opposite. That would be like to a building and a financial loss there, where it would be a report done on it for an insurance claim, if you like. So the secondary fire would be outdoors.
Okay, thank you. Thanks again.
Anybody else like to ask a question before I ask one? No. Gary, the unwanted fire alarm signals that you're obviously not going to be attending unless it's confirmed that there's a fire, is that right?
From the 1st of July, yeah, that would be the case, yes.
There must be a wee bit of concern about that. I mean, I used to be a fire warden. You know, if you delay things and people have got to go looking to see if there's a fire, there's always a concern there. Something happens to that person and the fire's well on their way.
Well, if that activated fire alarm signal goes off, they still need to carry out their full procedures where people would evacuate the building as normal. It would be one responsible person who would be then tasked by investigating to see if it was, and then with that case, then they would need to phone 999 thereafter, where a confirmed appliance would then attend the incident.
Yeah. I worked in the retail industry and they were notoriously poor in having dedicated persons. There's a wee bit of concern there for me anyway, but there you go. I'm quite sure you'll deal with it. Right, anybody else? No? Okay, thanks for that. That was very interesting. I'm quite sure, Gary, that the members will take that away and digest it a wee bit more. They'll be looking at their own wards, I'm going to do it. Thank you very much for attending.
That was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. Our next thing is grants. Play scheme grants. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. You've all read the report. Can we have a proposer and seconder for it? Joe. Anybody else would like to second that? Don't all rush at once. Kirsten.
Second it if needed.
Thank you. Community grants. Oh, right, okay. They're all agreed, and we've only got one that Kirsten's shown an interest in. So if we just leave that one aside, and it's taken granted, yeah. Yep. Okay, right. Okay, so what do we do? Just have to ask Kirsten to leave this one.
If you approve all the rest, and then
Yeah.
agree the rest.
Right, okay. Right, so we'll leave the hours allotments aside at the moment. If we can just have a look at the list of the grants, and is everybody going to agree and second it? Agreed for Joe. Somebody like to second the other list? The rest of the list, I should say. Gladys.
Yeah, I'm happy to second, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Right, Kirsten, would you like to leave the room? Are you away? She's going, right. The others allotments, Kirsten showed an interest because she has an allotment there. So can I take it that we agree? Second it? Joe? Seconder? Gladys? Okay, thanks, Gladys.
Happy to second that, Chair.
What's Elsie? Oh, Elsie's coming. Right. Hold on. I don't think there's anything there under. No, I think that's all. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Thank you very much for attending, you two.
Confirm no urgent business.
There's no urgent business, so thank you very much for attending.